So, today we're going to talk about a company that's trying to do something pretty radical. It's called Wynix, and it's the hardware arm of Linkspreed. Now, their goal isn't just to sell you another phone. Nope. They want to build the actual physical foundation for what they call Web4, this idea of a new internet where you and not some giant corporation are actually in control of your own data. So let's dig in and see what that really means. Just think about the phone in your pocket right now. Chances are it kind of locks you into one ecosystem, right? An Apple or a Google walled garden. Wynix is asking a totally different question. What if your device wasn't a wall keeping you in, but was actually an open bridge to a new kind of internet? One that's built around you. That's the huge problem they're trying to solve. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the big mission that's driving this whole thing. Then, we'll unpack their really unique strategy, which they call hardware independence. After that, we'll get to the fun stuff, the devices themselves, the W4 phone lineup, and a sneak peek at what's next. And finally, we'll put it all together and see why this whole plan could be a massive game changer. So let's start with the big picture, because to really get the hardware, you first have to understand the philosophy, and it all comes from Linkspreed's vision for an internet where the user, that's you, is finally in the driver's seat. This phrase, this really gets to the heart of what they're doing. See, Linkspreed's idea for an open, secure Web4 is, well, it's just code. Wynix is the plan to make that code real, to build the concrete, the actual devices that you can hold, that bring this new internet to life. It's about forging that physical link to their digital vision. And this led them to a huge realization. The folks at Linkspreed knew that you can have the best user-focused software in the world, but it doesn't mean much if it's running on hardware that's controlled by companies who have, let's say, different priorities. To give users real, true autonomy, they realized they had to build the devices themselves. Which brings us to their core strategy. And this is where it gets really interesting, because they're not trying to build another closed ecosystem. Instead, they're going for what they call the gold standard strategy. And believe me, it is a very different way of thinking. So what on earth is hardware independence? Well, it's the idea that their software, their operating system W4OS, is designed to run on any hardware, not just their own. They're not trying to lock you in. The whole point is to build a system that's open and flexible enough to work pretty much anywhere. And that gets to the heart of this gold standard idea. By making their own Wynix devices, what they're really doing is creating a benchmark. They're basically saying to the world, see, this is the absolute best case scenario. This is how perfectly our open software can run. It sets a really high bar for everyone else and proves their vision is possible on perfectly optimized hardware. All right, let's get to the good stuff, the hardware. We're going to start with their main product line, the W4 phones. And what's so fascinating here is that they're attacking the smartphone market from two completely different angles. Now, before we zoom in on the phones, it's really important to see the whole vision here. This table shows their entire planned fleet of devices. We're talking phones, a laptop, Air glasses, even smart rings. So this isn't just about a single device. It's a long-term play to build out an entire hardware ecosystem around these Web4 principles. And this slide just breaks down their two-phone strategy perfectly. On one side, you have the Gen 1. They're calling it the people's smart device. The focus is all on accessibility for literally everyone in the world. And on the other side, you have the Gen 2, the Enterprise Powerhouse, which is a beast designed for professionals who need incredible performance and total control of their data. Okay, let's talk about that Gen 1. The main goal here is to shake up the entire market by delivering a modern, secure device running W4OS for, get this, under $200. This isn't just about a price, it's a mission. It's about bringing real digital security and freedom to everyone, everywhere. Now for the Gen 2. Forget calling this a smartphone. Wynix calls this device a pocket server. And that one phrase just completely changes how you think about what a phone can be. It's not just a thing you consume media on. It's a tool for creation and for control. So how does a phone become a pocket server? Well, you pack it with insane performance and just massive amounts of RAM and storage. It's all designed to let you self-host your own data and apps. Just imagine running your own private cloud, your own messaging services, right there from the device in your pocket. That's the dream of total data sovereignty. But, the phones are really just the beginning. The vision goes way, way further. So let's take a look at how this philosophy starts to expand into a much bigger ecosystem, starting with their idea for a laptop. Okay, the W4 book is still in the concept stage, but the blueprint is really clear. We're talking about a portable computer that's built from the ground up on that Web4 philosophy. So think seamless integration with the W4 OS, all-day battery life, and a cool modular convertible design that just adapts to what you're doing. Then you've got the LR glasses. That stands for Linkspreed Reality. And they have this really smart two-step rolled-out plan. Gen 1 is all about being practical and lightweight, a hands-free AI assistant, getting your key notifications. Then Gen 2 builds on that, adding in audio, way better cameras, and advanced displays for a much deeper, more immersive experience.
And for people who want tech that's maybe a little more discreet, there's the LR Rings concept. The focus here is totally on a screen-free lifestyle. It's about giving you advanced health tracking, contactless payments, and subtle little vibrations for notifications, all without ever needing to pull out a screen.
Okay, so we've looked at the mission, the strategy, the products. Let's pull it all together and ask the big question. Why does any of this actually matter? And this right here is the main takeaway. Wynix is not just another company trying to sell you gadgets. It is a super strategic part of a much bigger mission. The end game is to build an entire ecosystem of electronics that are accessible, powerful, and truly, genuinely focused on your privacy, from the ground up. So I'll just leave you with this one thought. We've always thought of our phones as these little windows to the internet. Wynix is basically asking, what if your phone was your own private corner of the internet? A server in your pocket that you, and only you, completely control. Now that is the future they're trying to build.